they were requesting that the information not be used in a way that could in some way generalize, possibly, or in some way
if you ask this lady, she has the release, ma'am. The wording of the statement was that it would be for private use, and it would not be distributed or shown outside of me and whoever, locally, like a showing in my house or something.
And the reason you have a problem with that is, are you a member of a group?
It limits my right to use my recording however I see fit.
Are you using this in a professional manner?
This lady here is going to use this recording however she sees fit. She's not going to keep this recording for her own private use. She's going to use
Again,
this
you're
for
making
propaganda.
assumptions. You're making assumptions.
That camera is owned by Jim over there. He's not.
I came here to get information. Obviously, there's a pro and a con.
I forgot this lady's name, but she has the release in her hand. If you want to take a look at it.
Well, you know what? I guess I just am not going to get anything here because there's obviously a group of people that came here tonight with all of this information to tell me something.
Well, it wasn't
I don't know what they're telling me.
They gave up and walked out.
Well, except that I can't. I mean, that's kind of a. You're not taking responsibility when you can state it like that, and you are obviously the person who is responsible for that. And I think you need to own up to that because there was a situation that was created.
If you need an easy person to blame, then you may blame me.
No, don't look at that. I mean, now you're playing victim, and I'm not looking for that at all. I'm looking for a dialogue here because obviously you are in some way associated with the group. You've used the word "we" a number of times. You won't tell me what that group is, and I don't know.
We as people who I associate with who came at the last meeting.
And your association with those people is in what way?
Just
what
friends.
is your commonality?
We are supporters of the Second Amendment.
And that means what? I mean, the Second Amendment to me says that if you are part of a militia, you get to carry a gun. Now, according to the NRA, that's not what it is, but I'm obviously interpreting the Second Amendment a little bit differently from other people.
That's your right, ma'am.
I know that's my right. I'm not disputing rights here. I'm disputing.
No, you are disputing a right. You're disputing the right for me to use my material how I see fit.
Now you're going back to something else. We're looking at the Second Amendment, and that's why I'm curious. Because are you showing up here because you believe this is in some way not supporting the Second Amendment?
Here?
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, is that the idea behind your showing up here? I'm really curious about this. I just want to know.
My purpose for showing up here was to listen and to get information.
About
gun violence. That's what this was about. It was about gun violence.
Well, right. And that's what I wanted. But that's why I want to know why you managed to put yourself into a situation that disallowed for that to go forth because of a request that was made of you by the people who were here to give that information.
Well, ma'am, that's something that I don't feel that I need to reply to. My recording of this meeting is allowed under library policy. I don't need to ask anyone's permission here. I don't need to sign any release statements.
Well, no, that's not true.
Well,
that's not true.
Ma'am, you're
obviously
the police officer would have escorted me out of the building, and they wouldn't have canceled this meeting. No, because they went through
the library and got that information.
Ma'am, they would have ejected me before they would have stopped the meeting and told everyone to go home. It is perfectly fine for me to record. Yeah, it's not illegal.
No,
I'm not doing anything wrong.
Obviously, it's not. I mean, there were enough people here who were willing to videotape.
Her name's not on there.
But you know what? It's that is everybody jumped off the bridge, so I'm going to jump off the bridge. We're dealing with an individual, and we're dealing with a situation here.
This lady here with Jim Solo is filming everything that we're saying.
I have no idea who she is. I have no idea who Jim Solo is.
Jim Solo is that man right there. I'm
So
not running
what?
out. I'm not canceling our conversation.
I don't know who Jim Solo is. I don't know who this lady is. That doesn't mean anything to me. It means nothing to me. The Million Mile March means nothing to me. I have no idea who these people are. Never heard of this one before. I showed up because I wanted this information tonight, and I'm really disappointed.
I'm the same way, ma'am. I didn't know anything else either, so that's why I showed
Well,
up.
you just said you showed up at the last meeting, so obviously you got some information. You're ahead of me in that one. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know there was another
this lady is
meeting.
on a roll.
Well, and now you get to laugh at me, and you know that's what my kids do, so that's great.
You're playing Little Miss Innocent.
No, I'm not playing Little Miss Innocent. I'm looking for information. I don't know anything about this organization. I don't know who any of these people are. There's no one in this room I know at all. You have friends in here. You came as a we. I came as a me. And I wanted information tonight, which I did not get. You've gotten this information before because you said you went to another meeting. So obviously you had a baseline that you were operating some that I did not.
Who came here with no understanding of this group and with no prior knowledge or interest. I find it hard to believe that you are sticking around
not
after
prior
the meeting
knowledge, not interest.
To question my purpose for being here.
I'm curious because I don't understand why something as simple as allowing for this to happen, and you agree that you are not going to use it against this group in any way. Because you are going to say,
it wasn't about against using it against the group. The release statement was that this recording would be kept private.
Right.
They don't. Now, where did using it against the group come
Well, that was my assumption. Poor assumption made there. But I don't understand then why I keep coming back to why you just didn't sign that.
This group is trying to trample on rights. The Second Amendment is a right, just like they're trying to trample on my right under the First Amendment to take a video.
Okay, now tell me what that means. Trample on a right. Because that's the information I'm looking for. What do you mean they're trying to trample on a right with the Second Amendment?
I think I would advise you to go, since you claim to be totally ignorant about the goals of this group. You need to go to their website.
I know nothing about
and you need
the
to
group.
read about what they stand for. You also need to go and read about Bob Ricker and what his past is and what he stands for. He's a paid speaker. They said that tonight, just like he was a paid speaker for the NRA. It was convenient for Bob Ricker to collect a paycheck to promote guns when he worked for the NRA. Now it's convenient for him to be a paid speaker and collect a paycheck for the Million Mile March. Do we really know that his convictions are sincere?
I don't know the man. Can't tell you a thing. People change all the time. That's all I know.
Sounds to me like he's a speech mercenary. He'll speak on this side if they pay him. He'll speak on that side if they pay him. Maybe he'd speak about child pornography if I paid him.
I don't understand your mind at all. I mean, do you get where that went? I didn't quite follow that.
I'm saying that he's paid to say what whoever's paying him is wanting him to say.
Oh, I don't think
I think
that.
Yeah.
I think people say what they think and what they feel.
Obviously you are. But I'm still not getting a really straight answer out of you, and that's my frustration.
And I know he wasn't paid that much. I mean,
It doesn't matter. If he felt so concerned about this issue, he'd come here and say whatever he needed to say for free.
Well,
I mean, we invited the press into our last meeting and kicked our own members out. So the press
Wait, now you're another we. Who's the we?
I'm a member of the VCDL,
Which is?
the Virginia Citizens Defense League. I'm also an NRA certified pistol instructor.
VCDL.
never heard of it.
Never did either. And you are also a member of that group?
I'm here representing myself, ma'am.
Well, I think you guys are focused a little too much on the Second Amendment, not as much on the First. I mean, the difference here is some people feel that the right to bear arms is an individual personal right. Other people, like the Million Mile March, feel that it's reserved to a state or a militia. That's fine. We can disagree on that. We can.
And no one will
context that out.
ever.
That's
Yeah,
not what
that's
this is
not.
about. This is about the First Amendment. If you want to come say something that's a very politically charged issue, why won't you say it in front of a camera? You can make your own copy, and if we slice and dice and put out something inflammatory or mix it around, you put your own copy right out next to it. In this day of the internet, you can't get away with things like that anymore.